Hi, friends. Good evening. Good evening, Mohit, Pranit, Akshay, Navneet, Rakesh, Gunit, Amit, Shubham, Dipro, Sahil, Souvik, and rest of my friends. I hope all of you are really doing good. Welcome to Dr. HR live stream. Genuinely appreciate your taking out time on a Friday evening and attending this session, which will be for about 50 minutes. So initial 40 minutes is what, I'll share my point of view, followed with, maybe last 10-15 minutes. On a first come, first serve basis, we will have question and answer. Good to know we have Professor Vidya Srinivas as well. Thank you, Professor, and welcome to this live stream. Hopefully, it will make some sense to all the student friends and to you. Hi, Rakesh, Poliseti, Guneet, Archit, Vinika. Very good evening, friends. Genuinely appreciate your warm welcome. I hope all of you are doing well and giving a tough fight to COVID situation. Glad to know that you have not stopped the learning process. I hope you are not back in your campus right now, but learning has not stopped. We are learning every day through our virtual modes. Is it? Thank you, Nikunj, for that confirmation. Very good evening, Hina. Okay, with that warm intro, it's very important for me to let you know what we are planning to have as discussion point today. I wish to share my experiences of late, the recent one that we have acquired during this unprecedented time. And in the process, I'll try and share a few tricks and tips of staying ahead in the race, irrespective of the times that we go through. And the best method to do that is to ask you to participate, ask you to answer to some of my questions. Yeah. Hopefully, through that deliberation, there would be certain takeaways for all of us. With that understanding, let me start the discussion today. As I said, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. My first question is, how many of you believe today we are going through a crisis? Thankfully, live chat is on. You can respond through this live chat to my questions. I repeat, my question is, how many of you believe we are going through unprecedented time, some sort of a crisis right now? Aman believes so. Ayushi also believes. Nikunj believes. Siddharth believes. Hina also believes. Fantastic. My next question to you is, how many of you believe this is the only crisis we will see in our lifetime? Will this be? Meaning, more specifically, do you believe COVID-19 situation will be the only crisis that we will see? Or there could be something else. We don't know. Kushal says no. Siddharth says no. Sonal says no. Fantastic. So friends, absolutely you are right. In 2008, we have seen the Great Depression. Today, we are going through this unprecedented time. In our lifetime, we haven't seen anything like this, which completely changed the way we used to do our business. We used to conduct ourselves as a member of the society. It has never happened in our lifetime, which we call COVID-19 situation. Right, Vinika? Now, friends, yesterday it was Great Depression. Today it is COVID-19. Tomorrow it could be something else. Yeah. So these are the things which is not in our control. Yeah. These are the unprecedented times. We have to go through because of those external changes that has happened, where we have very, very limited or absolutely no control. But as we know, there are plenty of uncertainty even in future. Yeah. And which might come to us in the form of some sort of a crisis. Today's discussion would be centered around how do we insulate ourselves so that we are less impacted. What are the things that we need to be keeping in back of our mind while preparing for that unforeseen future, which might be a crisis? Yeah. So this is what I call, in other words, staying ahead of the race, staying relevant in all situations, irrespective of the times that you and I go through. So, friends, that's going to be our topic for the day. Yeah. Now, my next question is, how many of you believe or have come across and believe the statement, people are an organization's greatest asset? There are 5 M's. I'm sure your professors would have taught you. Irrespective of the nature of the business, whether you are manufacturing or service, 5 M's are men, material, method, market, machines, right? The multiple resources that we talked about. Out of that, I'm sure we also have come across statements that human resources or people are an organization's greatest asset. Ravi? Anik? Everybody has said yes. They have heard about this. Let me hold you very tight and shake you well and ask this question. How many of you truly believe in that statement? That is a principle we all have read. But how many of you truly believe, yes, in practice also, people are considered and treated as the organization's greatest asset? Dipro, Boni, Brownie, Parivesh, Debarg, Sharang, everybody, most of them, they said believe. Okay, you might hate me for making this statement, but the fact is, please concentrate on the statement I'm going to make. People in general are not an organization's greatest asset. Good people are an organization's asset. Now, Anil, that's fine. You said good people, but how would you define good? So I repeat, the statement that I made is, people in general are not an organization's greatest asset. Good people are an organization's asset. Now, what do you mean by good people? People who are well aligned with the organization's overall vision, people who are very good when it comes to learnability, people who are adaptive, people who are agile, people who are fantastic when it comes to the overall attitude. Yeah. So typically, the statements that we make that people are an organization's greatest asset, I tend to disagree, simply for the fact that if people are an organization's greatest asset, would you ask them to go? Would you go for mass retrenchment? Would you go for job losses, what we have seen during this time? Would you allow your assets to step out, move out? Answer is no, right? Then how can we say that people are an organization's asset? Second counter narrative is, every organization annually has to go through a bell curve in their annual appraisal processes. What typically happens there is, we try and identify who are top talent, who are middle of the road, who are bottom talent, who are struggling. For them, we initiate something called PIP, Performance Improvement Plan. And over a period of time, if there is no improvement, then they are completely weeded out. They are out of the organization. Now, in true sense, friends, if people are your greatest asset, would you allow them to move out? And hence, why should we fool ourselves? The right statement, the practical statement is, people, hence, in general, are not an organization's greatest asset. Good people are. And good, we tried define what does that mean. Okay, why did I pick up this topic for discussion? I want everybody on the call to understand that one golden rule of staying ahead of the race, staying relevant at all time is you got to be very good when it comes to performance. In a corporate scenario, only way you can insulate yourself, your stability, and you can grow, you can survive, you can learn is through a consistent top performance record. On top of that, your potential, meaning you should possess the ability to get on to the next level when it comes to promotions, when it comes to higher responsibility job. And hence, that made me believe that people in general are not good people, are meaning people who can align well, who are agile, who are good when it comes to problem solving, people who are good in terms of performance track record, people who have the right kind of an attitude and potential are going to insulate. These are the group of people who would always be successful in compared to others. Make sense? Thank you, Arju, Pratibha, and Anugrah for agreeing to my point of view. That's something. So, typically in management, we have two things. One, we talk about principles. The other one is practice. Principle, by all means, we all should learn. Yes, people are. That's the spirit. That's while dealing with people, the mindset has to be no, they are not to be treated like any other cog in the machine, any other resources. They are the true assets of the organization. Now, while dealing with people, that has to be the mindset. But in reality, of course, we do have multiple evaluation mechanisms in place to differentiate people who are great, who are moderate, who are struggling, isn't it? Take the case of our academic in 10th class, in 12th class, not necessarily, or in your MBA, not necessarily everybody is treated well or is treated at par with the rest of the people. What I mean, in other words, is if there is a batch of 120 students, there can be only one topper academically. There can be a specific people, bunch of people who would be passing out with more than 60% weightage. Some people would be lesser than 60. Some people would probably also have certain back paper. Why does that happen? The input is same, the teachers are same, everybody getting same input, but still it happens. And why do we differentiate? And friends, when it comes to corporate, it's no difference. By and large, organization would constantly, through numerous mechanisms, try and understand who are the people truly adding value to the company. True. So Nikunj, this is, even in corporate, it is all about performance. That's the golden rule number one I want everybody to take home today. In terms of insulating yourself or staying relevant at all time, number one is there is no other shortcut but to perform, but to acquire those competences which will take you to the next level in an organizational scenario. Okay, if that happens, you are a winner. Number one. Number two, every organization, friends, during this unprecedented time has gone through three broad phases. Number one, how do we survive? Meaning, every organization, they had their plan. Every year they do a plan called annual operating plan, AOP. In short, it's called annual operating plan. What happens is, what would be your digital strategy? What would be your marketing strategy? Would you want to diversify? How would be the hiring plan for next year? All of that gets discussed, decided in the month of January, February, because the financial year starts from April. We were also fine, did similar kind of an activity and were waiting to implement the plan from 1st of April. Then comes this COVID-19 situation. Towards the third week of March, we all got impacted and lockdown was announced. Now, when there were no economic activity all around, we were confined to our places, business got severely impacted. And friends, this is also not industry agnostic. Every sector had to go through similar kind of challenges. What do you do? And during this time, the first phase that we all have gone through is how do we survive as an entity, as a business entity. Yeah. And for that, organizations found out numerous ways to stay afloat, stay relevant. And what did they do? Deferred the joining time, or campus no hiring freeze, or probably organizations also have said there would not be, we are deferring our annual bonuses, our performance increments, yeah, our promotion announcements. There were a temporary halt. Some organizations have gone ahead and also introduced, we will have graded pay cut basis the level that you are in. Everybody need to contribute. Why? Because we as a company need to stay afloat. And if that happens, probably it will help some other people to retain their jobs. And few other organizations have also gone ahead and left, right, and center fired and exit. There are plenty of attritions, plenty of job losses. Yeah. So organizations who were also boasting about the fact that, hey, we are world's #1 hospitality group with this many room inventory, blah blah blah, that bubble has burst. Why? Because people were playing the game of valuation. Startup companies were talking about, hey, this is my company's valuation. Friends, it has exposed those valuation game, and it made people realize that this valuation game is not for real. True organizations, or the character of organization, is to what extent actually, what is your P&L balance? Do you have a healthy cash reserve? Organizations who were relatively well found it easier to manage this. Yeah. So that is the first phase, which is all about survival, what we need to do as an organization to survive. Number 2 was, how do we recover back? That happened towards June, July, August, by and large across sectors, barring few. And typically, what happened during this time is, we agreed that we lost certain ground when it comes to business. So what do we need to do? How do we need to reboot, realign the way we used to do business to get some revenues, to take care of employee salary, to pay some money to vendors, etc., etc. Friend, we know during this time, the consumer internet companies who were not into grocery delivery got into grocery delivery. Manufacturing companies, car manufacturing companies got into manufacturing of masks. That's not their core competency, but they were forced to reinvent. They were forced to reboot their overall strategy, business strategy, to stay relevant and get some money flowing in, some sort of a revenue flowing in, so that business gets some revenue to sustain. So that is the recovery phase. Third phase that we all are going through right now is, what do we need to do in our respective businesses to again go back to that excellence phase? So first is survival, second was recovering back, third is all about how can we go back to even better pre-COVID era. Yeah. So that is the excellence phase that we all are going through. Now, friends, any adverse situation, I strongly believe in the fact, any adverse situation also brings in great opportunity, allows us to come up with innovation. For example, say sectors like healthcare, sectors like education technology, sectors like grocery delivery, or number of YouTubers that you have seen during this time is unprecedented. It's a boon for these sectors, for this kind of a business activity. Similarly, the sectors who were severely impacted were your hospitality, your aviation, your travel management companies, right? So anything which is guest centric have seen a significant impact. Now, why are we discussing about all of that right now, and what's in it for us? So that's one more change that has happened during this time. Yeah. Now, the interesting thing is, I tend to believe this year, by and large, across sectors, the number of recruitment or hiring activity will be slightly diminished. It will be a little lower than before. Yeah. And the reason, guys, friends, just give me a minute. I'm getting a call. Hello. Yeah. क्या हाँ दे दो ना यार, घर लेके आओ, मैं कॉल पे हूँ. Hello. Hello. Yeah. So, friends, so sorry about that. Disturbance. Somebody was trying to reach out. I got some 10, 12 calls. So, because of that, I had to stop it in between. Okay. Now, again, sorry. Sincere apologies for that. I normally don't do that, but somebody was trying to reach out 15, 20 times. So I thought, I'll pick it up. But then, it's not that important right now. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks for your patience. So again, going back to the sectors, some sectors are impacted hugely, some sectors are benefited because of the situation. And now trying to link it to student community, when I said the number of hiring activities are definitely going to be lower than before. Now, what it means is number of full-time employments are going to diminish. But that will give rise to a parallel economy called gig economy. Yeah. And then what it means is there would be, definitely demand for subject matter experts. People will come, they will gig, and they will get out. Yeah. It's not a full-time employment. Now, friends, let's try and understand this. During this time, when there were job losses, there were people who are already, with years of experience, they were available in the market. Why? Because there were job losses. These are the senior folks with years of experience. But the mindset is they are prone to job losses because the mindset is with this salary, already they are at a higher salary slab. And with this salary, we can think of, hiring 4 or 5 people. And hence, with that mindset, during unprecedented time, we have seen startups, they struggled and, there were job losses. Yeah. But mind you, you cannot take the years of experience that these guys have. Yeah. And these people who are, available in the market, the mindset is also, hey, I've been there, done that. Let me play the role of a gig, a consultant, available part-time. Yeah. So that is on the rise. Why? Because globally, if you see, friends, this gig economy is $4.5 trillion business. It's a huge market out there. And the good news is India features amongst the world's top 5 nations who are already using this gig workers. After US and China, India is number 3. Then comes your Mexico and Japan and other countries. Yeah. So what it means is gig is going to be big and bigger than ever. Cut to India. It's estimated that it's going to touch $450 billion in the next 12 to 16 months' time. So it's also estimated another 5 to 6 million workers are going to join this this gig economy. Yeah. So what it means is, why this data I thought of sharing with you is with an intent to realize that gig is going to be big. Now, what it means? Of course, when there is lesser number of full-time employment, there would be more number of demand for subject matter experts. These subject matter experts are not married to any one company. They gig, they do these jobs for multiple employers. And that's going to be the future. In the Western developed economies, it's also a reality. And in India, it definitely has picked up to the tune of 15 to 20% already surge in the demand, and it's here to stay. Now, what does this mean to you? What does this mean to Gen Yers, Gen Z, more specifically? Gen Z are the people born after 1995. So these are roughly around 25 years of age. These are the new kids on the block. They have this mindset that, hey, let me try and balance my higher education. At the same time, I'm a subject matter expert when it comes to predictive modeling, when it comes to maybe developing an app, maybe digital marketing. I'm an expert, yeah, or I'm a techie in Hadoop or in some tech. But I'm not yet ready, or I don't want. I want flexibility. I don't want to join any company. That kind of a flexibility, definitely in the future, organizations of the future are going to see utilizing more and more gig workers. Okay. Third learning or third takeaway that I want you guys to take home today is, think of a scenario 7 months back, 8 months back, every organization by and large had a policy called work from home. And the mindset, being a CHRO for a company, I can tell this with confidence. The mindset of CXOs, the mindset of CEOs, that was, what is work from home for back of the house? Meaning for finance, for HR, for admin, for other functions. But friends, the pandemic has forced everybody to change the mindset, specifically during when we all were forced to observe the lockdown. What happened is everybody reinvented, started contributing from their hometowns, from their respective homes. So work from home has proved all of us wrong. It proved that when it comes to workplace productivity, it doesn't matter whether you are front of the house or back of the house. All functions, not necessarily IT, product, and technology, all functions can be equally productive. The efficacy can be equally high. Yeah, that is the mindset. That got changed. And with that, there are plenty of other benefits of work from home. But I'm sure you would have come across statements like work from home is the new normal. I don't tend to believe there is anything called new normal, because whatever seems to be a new normal today, organizations are going through change. Organizations are going to invent, reinvent, and till the time you have a new crisis in place. Yeah. Hence, third takeaway that I want you guys to carry home today is, the organizations of future are going to have much more flexibility when it comes to productivity and workplace related behaviors. So my counter narrative is, why we talk about work from home. It could be work from anywhere. Yeah. So work from home to be replaced with work from anywhere. Doesn't matter if you do not have those facility. It doesn't matter. You can work from any co-working spaces. And organizations who have strong performance driven culture, meritocratic organizations, does not really bother whether you come to work, punch in 10 hours, 12 hours, or you are operating from the beautiful beaches of Goa. So long as, friends, so long as you show your value addition, organizations or HR would definitely be fine with those arrangements. So workplace flexibility are going to further increase. And my counter narrative, counter question to all of you is, how well are you prepared? Because for student community, what it means is, of course, there are plenty of flexibility, but but the competencies required are slightly different. For example, in a typical time for a campus hiring, we will have a CGPA cutoff, and people will come, there would be a GD, there would be some sort of a test and face-to-face interview. We will shake hand and we'll do that. Cut to today, what we do is the screening shortlisting happens through the profile, through a telephonic call. Yeah, Nilesh, through a telephonic call, followed with, if shortlisted, selected for the next round would be through virtual video conference. And basis this, the offers are released. Now, the limited point I want to make here is, the competencies required for a telephonic call to a virtual video based call, wherein people can see how you are dressed up, what is your body language, what is your posture, what is your level of confidence, all of that, the skills are different. Hence, even if there are workplace flexibility, how well prepared are you is something that you need to be asking yourself. Why? Because the competencies are also different. Now, very quickly, there are numerous benefits of work from home or work from anywhere, but for students easy understanding, I developed a mnemonic, a acronym called STOP. STOP meaning everything starts with stop meaning, S is for social distancing. Yeah, if the WHO report got to be believed, then the virus is here to stay. Until the time you and I get a vaccine, the only way out for us is to maintain social distancing. Yeah, and in work from home, you don't need to. Actually, you can actually ensure you can maintain social distancing. That is the S in the stop. T is for travel time. It's a proven fact, irrespective of the city that you belong to. Everybody spends 20 to 25% of their commuting time. Their productivity time is lost in commuting, in to and fro, going from home to office. And in work from home, the productivity can actually go higher because you are not required to travel, which used to take a toll on your health, on the stress level, drain your energy. That you can preserve, and that can be utilized for some other purpose, specifically for the productivity levels, right? So that is the T, the travel time or the commute time. O is for office occupancy. Gone are those days where organizations would be investing on fixed assets and will say, hey, I have a swanky campus. No. Today, the mindset is my investment on fixed asset got to be bare minimal. And that's how organizations are giving flexibility. Meaning what? There are plenty of co-working spaces. Friends, I'm not talking about only tier one company, tier one cities. Tier two, tier three also we have seen a surge in the demand of co-working spaces. I believe that is the reverse migration that has happened is here to stay. And hence the O in the stop acronym is for office occupancy. P is for the pollution levels. When we all were, when there are less number of vehicles plying on the road, and when there are flexibility, we don't need to spend our time on commute, then ultimately it results into better or lowering the pollution levels. Think of old age people, or think of people with asthmatic attack. Yeah, and for them this has been a boon. So it also teaches us, can we peacefully coexist with our society, with our environment? Can we take care of peacefully coexisting with nature? Yeah, these are the few quick learning that we have had during this time. Yeah, then probably I'll ask the last phase of our discussion. Very probably you're not going to like this, but but I have to ask you this. Why? Because this is the most important part in our discussion today. Now, Mohit or Prachi or Rio or Shefali, what do you think? Who is your competition? My first question is, who is your competition? When you pass out from your college, when you are here for placement opportunities, who are you going to compete with in today's world? I want you to realize that. Because realization is the starting point of you getting prepared for the unforeseen future. Yeah? Who are you competing with? Who would be your competition? My answer to that is, Amit, everybody except you is your competition. Whosoever is going to pass out, not necessarily from Mumbai, not necessarily from Delhi, not today when Klaus Schwab, the founding chairman of World Economic Forum, in the Fourth Industrial Revolution book, he talks about how the future is of 3D printing, of Internet of Things, blah blah blah. It also means that the whole world is digitally connected. You have to, when you pass out, you will have to compete with global workforce. Competition will be with people who would pass out from China, Japan, the US, UK, Australia, Netherlands, plenty. Everywhere, globally, you have to compete. The way you pass out, the year you pass out, you will have to compete. Now, my next question to all of my friends is, why should anybody hire you? Prachi, Utkarsh, Mohit. My next question was, why should anybody hire you? I pray and hope that all of you should get a job of your choice. But please try and answer my question, why should anybody hire you? What is so unique about you? So, the reason why I ask this question, friends, is very, very important for us to introspect, internalize, and identify your unique value proposition, unique selling point. In short, we call the USP, right? We need to, Urmita, understand what is your uniqueness. Why should anybody hire you? How would you get noticed? So, what I'm trying to hint you is personal branding. Understanding your core strength is first step. Try and understand what you are good at. Now you can say, Anil, it's great for you to give a gyan, but tell me, how do I know what I'm good at? There are plenty of tools. There are Gallup Strength Finder. There are Johari Window is one more tool. I'm sure in your organization behavior you would have gone through that. There are tools like 360-degree feedback, or in simple term, go and ask your close friends, family members, ask them for feedback. What are you good at? And I'm sure by now you know what are you good at. Yeah. So try and strengthen that uniqueness, which would separate you from rest of the mass. Say, for example, you're very good when it comes to conceptual clarity. Why don't you write a white paper, get it published, and bring some sort of a required visibility for yourself? You are good. The world is full of problems. You are very good when it comes to tech and tech related solution. You can resolve a solution through development of an app. By all means, get into that. You are good when it comes to predictive modeling. Do that. Good when it comes to digital marketing. Good when it comes to probably, YouTubing. At 47, if I have invented myself, I got into YouTubing and I created this Dr.HR YouTube channel with an intent to share the 23 years of experience with young minds like you. Yeah. If I can be a YouTuber out of passion at 47, you can be. You can identify what is your core strength. What are you good at? And the next step is then automatically try and create visibility. Because in a connected world, what would separate you from rest is what are you good at, and create visibility in that field. Networking and personal branding, hence, my dear friends, is very, very important. You are right, Parivesh. SWOT analysis also helps. Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Yeah, do that, and that would separate you from the rest of the people. Simply sending a LinkedIn invite, people might not accept. Okay, people might not accept your LinkedIn invite because the mindset is, hey, this is yet another LinkedIn invite. Yeah. But think of the scenario. You are following a leader, or you are interested in a specific company. You follow that, how they are doing, what are the new product line, what is that has gone well, what are the things where they are struggling. Try and do some sort of a research, find out your genuine interest, then reach out to somebody. Don't you feel the acceptance would be more? They would say, hey, here is Navya, here is Abhishek, here is Praneeth. These are the guys genuinely interested in this. And unconsciously, you will be in their back of their mind. Or if you publish some white papers or do some creative stuff, that will separate you from rest of the mass. That's how you can compete against the larger mass which is waiting to face the challenge along with you. That is, friends, very, very important. It's also equally important for me to let you know, while I said not necessarily every employee is an organization's asset, I also tend to believe that talent would always be a winner. Yeah. And even during this unprecedented times, organizations were hiring, but that information was not in the public domain. People were hiring even during lockdown period of April, May, June last year. Yeah, people were hiring. So the trick is, talent would always be a winner. There would always be requirement for good people, for talented people. Yeah, even if there are no business. Yeah, that has happened even now. But if you are well networked, If people know you in circle, then definitely you will get to know, and that should help you out in pulling some strings and identifying where there are opportunities. Yeah, that is, friends, very, very important. From that scheme of things, branding, personal branding, and networking plays a larger role. My last inputs for the day is, we have seen there are few unstated competencies which has gained momentum during this time. What does this mean? Whenever there are openings, job opening, organization will give you a JD, job description, which will have, this is the qualification, these are the competencies, this is the skill, these many years of experience, this is the salary bracket, blah blah blah, right? The job description is a typical document which has been considered as a referral point while hiring people, while going for, filling up of vacancies. Now, what I have seen, observed during this time is, there are few unstated competences like problem solving, yeah, design thinking, emotional intelligence, ability to take people along, tech savviness, which I believe that all of you are 100 times better than people like me who are still struggling with technology, because you were born and brought up in digital era, high speed internet era, right? Those are the benefits. So problem solving, design thinking, analytics and predictive modeling, we have plenty of data available. Are you the someone who can go through those data, derive some insights, and help an organization in in resolving an issue? If yes, you have that competitive advantage, my dear friend. If you are good at digital marketing, then try and encash that. These are the things that is gaining momentum. You are fantastic when it comes to an individual contributor, but do you have the ability to take people along? What is your team spirit quotient? Very, very important. These are the things that is gaining momentum during this time. All the very best. And I'm sure, I pray again and hope that, all of you should be successful, should get a job of your choice. Yeah. But do not lose hope. Today it is, as I said, COVID. Tomorrow it could be something else. If you focus on those takeaways, 4-5 things that we discussed, and prepare yourself, then you would be insulated. You would be better prepared to face the challenges of the future, which is very, very uncertain, which is not in your control. Some people also in my other sessions came up and said, "Sir, I completely focused on my studies, on my CGPA score, and मेरे टाइम पे ही ऐसा होना था, कोविड आना था." So कोविड ना आपको पूछेगा, ना मेरे को पूछेगा, किसी को बिना पूछे कभी भी कोई भी सिचुएशन हो सकता है. So don't feel victimized, and don't prepare rather yourself. And as a professional friends, any situation we have only two choices. First one is flight, second one is fight. Yeah. What do you do when you are alone on a road, deserted road, and you found one stray dog chasing you? क्या करोगे आप? Either you would run faster, yeah, that is flight, or fight, turn back, pick up a stone or a stick or whatever it is, try and scare the stray dog, right? Two choices we have instantly, fight or flight. Friends, as a professional, flight is not an option. Situation से भागना हमारे पास option नहीं है. We need to fight it out. We need to take the challenge and fight it out. I wish and pray all of you would be ready with those inputs to fight out the unprecedented times of even future. All the very best, and thank you so much for your patience. I thoroughly loved interacting with all of you. You guys are a bunch of bright young kids. Hope to stay connected. My full name is Anil Kumar Misra. I'm available on LinkedIn. Reach out to me. Otherwise, also the channel that I have created is Dr.HR, DR.HR. It has interesting videos of industry leaders across the globe. It has funny videos in the form of satires. If you have not seen my channel, I would request you, if you like today's session, if you want to stay connected with me, please do subscribe to Dr.HR. Yeah, and we will stay connected. It will not disappoint you. and there are no YouTubers in HR space and at CHRO level. So by all means, I welcome you. Please, whenever you get time, do visit Dr. HR, subscribe, like, and share, and let's stay connected. Thank you so very much for your patience. Now it's time for Q&A. Tell me, guys, if today's session was interesting, it helped you out in at least taking a couple of key takeaways. Thank you, Ritvika, Nandini, Praneeth, Soumya Singh, Prachi, for that endorsement. And if you like today's session, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Dr. HR. This is the toughest part, friends. At 47, asking for subscribers is the toughest challenge. But yeah, I have 128 friends, so expecting at least 400 subscribers, new subscribers today. Because I believe, if you like today's session, you will go ahead and talk to rest of your friends and help me out in getting more subscribers. Just kidding, friends. Thank you so very much. But questions? So Vinika has said, definitely, sir. What is that definitely for? Vinika, you are getting me 400 subscribers. Thank you. Anyhow. So friends, if there are no questions, thank you so very much for your time, for your patience, and I hope to interact with you. And before we actually wind up the session, if some of you are genuinely interested in learning and working on some live projects, then I would request you make up your mind. It will not be on any stipend basis. There might not be any stipend or anything opportunity for you to earn money, but definitely if you want to learn and work on certain live project, which I am working on roughly around 10-12, by all means get in touch with me. I'll see, basis your background, basis your interest, if we will see if we can work together as colleagues, specifically on special projects. Few live projects. If learning is what top of your agenda, by all means I'll try and help you out. So with that, thank you so very much for your patience. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for this opportunity. All the best. Stay safe and let learning never stop. Bye-bye and take care, friends.